Welcome to Cold Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Cold Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 11. What do you tell yourself about yourself? See, we're going to talk about self-talk today because there's a narrative that we've given ourselves, or sometimes we just took a circumstance that might have happened when we were younger and we carried it. And we wore it like a coat, and we wore it and wore it and wore it. And guess what? It doesn't look good on you, but you keep wearing that coat. And it may be something that someone else said about you. Maybe it kind of goes along with a paradigm, but specifically, I want to just talk more about, what are you telling yourself about yourself? Like, how do you see yourself? Because here's the deal: how you see yourself is what you project, and how you're going to inadvertently cause other people to see you, right? So, I've had to transform myself many, many times because I wanted to be a different person than who I initially started to be. Did you know that every 7 to 10 years, your cells change? You have brand new cells. So just think about that. So we're literally a completely different person after 7 to 10 years. But it's going to be up to you to decide who that person is going to be. You get to look in the mirror and you get to decide, who am I? Right. And so, again, let's go back to the question: what do you tell yourself about yourself? This may require writing it down. This may require putting it on paper and just sitting down and just doing some real self-reflection because, um, you know, it's so deeply embedded that sometimes we don't even realize it. I'll just take me for example. There used to be a time where I thought that I would say that I'm shy and I'm not really outgoing, and I'm not really a people person. But ironically, I'm in a people person business and I'm around people all the time, and I now I get paid pretty much to be in a people type of a business, right? So just keep that in mind, that you can transform like in 7 to 10 years, 5 to 10 years, 3 to 5 years. You can literally change everything if you decide to, if you choose to. But you have to first off identify those limiting barriers, those limiting beliefs that you've put on yourself. And I can't, anytime you say something like, I'm not that kind of person, or, now don't get me wrong, obviously if it's something bad, then you don't want to be that person. But there's sometimes things that don't serve us well, but we just say it, and we say stuff like, I hear people say things like, I'm not a salesperson. Well, let me let you in on a little secret. We are all salespeople. Every one of us are salespeople. Oftentimes we just don't get paid for it. See, you have to sell your coworker. I'm sorry, you have to sell your boss to hire you. You have to sell your spouse to be with you. You have to sell your kids to do what you want them to do, and to do the right things. So we're always selling, but we just never saw it that way, and we didn't see ourselves that way, right? So once you embrace that, and this is not to talk about being a salesperson, but what I'm saying is, what are those other thoughts that you thought about yourself? Like, maybe you thought that you weren't good enough to be in a relationship with the right person. Maybe you thought that maybe success just isn't for you. Like, you're supposed to just live a regular average life because that's just who you are. All these just limiting beliefs that we give ourselves, and we just carry it. We carry it and carry it, and it just becomes a part of who we are. And now no one else recognizes us other than who we have projected ourselves to be. So again, think about the elephant that is a baby, and they're tied to a rope on a stick. And at that point in their life, they're weak. They can't get free from it because they're just not strong enough. But over time, they get stronger and stronger and stronger, and they become an adult. And at this point, they literally could break free, but they don't. Why? Because for so long they've they've sold themselves on one idea of who they were, and they don't know anything else other than who they've always been. But guess what? We can always transform ourselves to be who we want to be, but we have to decide first who we want to be and then just go out there and be that person. So, what is your self-talk like? This is something you really got to just sit down and just identify and just think about, like, what do I tell myself? How do I see myself? Now, a good idea to help you with this might be to ask someone else how they see you, right? Now, of course, maybe they'll tell you a lot of the positive things, but hey, maybe it's okay to get to find out some of the negative things. And this is not to stir anything negative up or anything like that. But what I'm saying is there's a narrative there that we've taken that's not serving us right now, and we don't have to take it, but we chose to, and so we continue to, and it's now a part of who we are. And today, I'm just here to say, look, in 7 to 10 years, in 5 years, in 3 to 5 years, you could change everything if you choose to, if you decide to. And all you have to do is start changing how we see ourselves, changing, like we talked about in another episode, changing the paradigm, right? Changing what we see when we see ourselves. When we look in the mirror and we're thinking about who we are, what's the story? What's our new story? And sometimes it's good to write out your new story. I'm really big on writing things down because even the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain, right? So maybe it's good to write it down who you want to be in the next 5 years. Like, zoom out and then zoom back in. Go into the future and write down who you want to be, and then come back to where we are right now, and then let's work backward. Let's backstep and be that person that we saw ourselves to be, not the person that we see ourselves as now, and certainly not the person that we saw ourselves as a child. So this is an impactful episode, I believe, and I hope you guys get some value from it because, I believe somebody's going to get free from the rope and the stick, if you will, and we'll no longer be that baby elephant, but we'll see ourselves as the adult elephant that literally deserves freedom, that deserves to be not in bondage, but to be able to do what we're supposed to do and be free and liberate other people. So I hope you guys got some value from this, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value, and definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.